Welcome back to another episode of Frank's Unsolicited Advice, and we're recording another edition of the NFL. It's impromptu. It wasn't planned. I already did my week 4 picks, so this was just because so much has transpired. Before the NFL season started, people were asking what's going on with COVID, how COVID is going to impact the NFL, and it's already impacted. This week we had the Titans test positive, and not only just the players, but coaches and people in the organization, so that delayed the Steelers and Titans and gave them a bye week. And this morning, Cam Newton test positive for New England Patriots. There was also some people that tested positive on the Chiefs side, so that game is postponed. They're looking at a Monday, Tuesday, but who knows? It probably will be another, week by week. Anyways, so today's going to be a little different for me, though, because I'm going to bring somebody in, a good friend of mine that I've met a while back, nice young lady, did not know she was a football fan up until one day she's going in about Juju and AB and a whole bunch of stuff on Instagram. But her name is Bree. Bree, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bree. I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm still currently in the Navy, and I am excited to be on this podcast.
And I'm happy to have you. To be honest, it's so much better when you have somebody to chat with.
Exactly.
And you can, give point of views. When I'm doing it by myself, it's like I'm arguing myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a talking contradiction. But when this idea came up, because Bree proposed it, and I said, you know what, it's dope. I don't mind it. I think it'd be great. Also, we have our own platforms. What is your platform?
I also have a podcast, and it's called Tea Time Podcast, and it's me and 3 friends, and we discuss MTV reality shows. We mainly discuss MTV The Challenge. If you are a challenge fan, that's what we discuss. But yes, it is fun having people, especially people people you're comfortable with, on podcasts and everything. It makes the conversations more fun. It makes the conversations more longer, and it makes the audience engage more.
Exactly.
They're just hearing one voice. They hear multiple voices, different points of views, and all that other stuff.
And ideas as well. It's like I said in one of my few podcasts, and I told you this earlier. My issue with people like commentators is they don't know how to separate their own bias. And I feel when you're going to commentate on sports, you can't be biased. As much as I think, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback ever, I can't take that into an argument because I might miss your point of view. You know what I'm saying? Or even as a Patriot fan, I can't just negate everything else. I have to be honest and toe the line. I hate when like Nick Wright does it with the Chiefs. He's a Chiefs. I mean, he has the pictures hanging up in the back wall of his house. You know what I'm saying? He's a big fan. And then Shannon Sharp always rooting for LeBron and who else? Mahomes or anybody. If it's not his guys that he likes, he doesn't support it. And I think that's just wrong. But anyways, so let's start. We had the 2 cancellations of the games right now.
I know, and one of them was my game.
Yes. Yours.
Yes.
One was yours and mine was the other. So you started it, and
yes.
we're continuing it.
We didn't start anything. Don't blame it on the Steelers now. It was not us, okay?
No, the Titans.
It was not us.
The Titans. But, one thing, and it's what I said earlier, my brother's over here, and he's a Raiders fan. He's from Oakland. He's a Raiders fan. And, one thing the Raiders did, they went to a charitable event that Darren Waller was having. And they went and they weren't wearing masks. So they got fined by the NFL, and their owner, Mark Davis, Mr. Davis, I forgot his first name. Mm-hmm. He was pissed because, it is putting the team at jeopardy, right? So
right.
So let's look at the impact that this is having. You have a fantasy team. I have a fantasy team. Do you have anybody part of these teams that you had to pick up and drop?
Yes, and it made it more stressful because I have 3 fantasy teams.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in 3 fantasy teams. So, yes, not really drop, more of benching right now. So, yes, I had Juju Smith-Schuster. I sadly had Deontay Johnson. He's been making me angry a lot. Mm-hmm. But, no, I didn't have anybody I had Derrick Henry in one of my leagues. I didn't have anybody from the Patriots. I did. I had White.
James White.
Mm-hmm.
I had Ben Roethlisberger. He's been my QB1.
Good choice.
Oh no, always. Listen, as a and not to mean you've gone back and forth on Instagram about it, but
a lot of times.
Yes, I like your organization, your owners, the coaching. I respect what Bill Cowher did while he was there, and then Mike Tomlin coming in and carrying it over. Big Ben has always been to me a good quarterback. I've always think that he's pretty good. He's had his on and off days, but you guys always seem to draft good wide receivers. I don't know where the hell it's like a gift. You know what I'm saying? Between Burris, Holmes, AB, Juju, like
Juju.
Hines
Now
Ward was there.
this new rookie, Chase Claypool.
Yup.
Have you been watching him?
I've been watching here and there, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been following the Bucks because Brady's there, and then I watch the Patriots because that's my team. So it's like I've been back and forth. But
Going back and forth.
I've always supported. Like I don't have anything bad to say about the Steelers or anything. In the last 20 years when Brady was in the AFC, if it wasn't the Patriots, it was either the Colts. It was the Steelers went to 3 Super Bowls in that time and won 2. Ravens went to 2, and so it's always been that conference. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the NFC. That any given day, any given season, it could be in a different team. And the AFC was pretty consistent with just 1 or 2, maybe 5 teams that were always in the running. So, but yeah, so I had Big Ben. I had to drop Adam Humphries, which was a Titan, and I picked up the backup quarterback from San Francisco to QB1 for this week only. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping I don't have to do that no more. I don't have anybody from the Patriots, and I don't have anybody. I do have the Chiefs. Oh my God, I'm talking to you right now.
Make sure you change that after this. Make sure you
Tyreek Hill. He's my. Oh my
yeah.
God, no.
So, why are you dropping them? Like, are you dropping them or are you benching them?
So I had 2 quarterbacks. I try to when I try to draft 2 quarterbacks for the bye week. But my backup quarterback was Driscoll from the Broncos, and they benched him, so I dropped him. And I'm very weak at the running back position.
And they played on Thursday already.
Yes, but he had ripened, and I didn't pick him up. So now I have to move Tyreek Hill. I have wide receivers to fill that though. That's one thing that's not bad. I can replace him. But for the quarterback, I didn't have another one. So I dropped Humphries because he wasn't really – I had more wide receivers than I needed. And I picked up Mullen. So that's why I did that. And I've been I listened – I don't know if you listen to different fantasy podcasts, but I listened to –
I don't.
Oh, you see, that's my life changed. Let me tell you something.
That's something I'm probably going to have to do. Like, I just play fantasy. Like, I don't listen to, like, the other podcast, like, fantasy podcasts.
No, girl. Listen. My boy, NC1 Perfetto, he was my AME too in New England. And he put me on to fantasy footballers. And I've been listening. So I used to drive, New England, Boston is like 3.5 hours from where I was at in New York. So I would listen to these podcasts while I'm driving, coming back and forth. And I was drafting wrong the whole time, okay?
Well, then you don't need a podcast. You just need me because I'm undefeated in all my teams so far.
But listen, good. Then you need to talk about it then. So they tell you, these guys, they stream quarterbacks. They don't stream them. They pick them up. Like, so for example, this week they say Fitzpatrick should have a good week against the Seahawks. So if you're looking for a quarterback, they say pick him up. I'm just worried about him because he give you like 2 or 3 good games, and then the 4th one he's straight basura. He's stinking it up and he's not putting nothing up. So I didn't pick him up. But yeah, I listen to them. I listen to CBS Fantasy Football, ESPN Football, Fantasy Football, all of them. And then I do my own assessment too. Based on who's going to be what. So we talked about the impact that has on the fantasy. Now think about the bettors. I know I do a pick 'em league. So I put $20 up a week, and 10 goes to the weekly pot, 10 goes to the Super Bowl, and you got to pick your team. So I had picked the Patriots to upset, and I'm gonna explain why when we get done with this, right?
Okay.
But now that's affecting everything because now these 2 games are not being played. So that throws off your money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big impact. So before I go into why I was picking the Patriots, what do you think, in your opinion, as a fan, as a fantasy, player, they need to do? So they can't do a bubble, they can't do a bubble. So what do you think they should do?
Well, one thing I think that they need to do, even though I don't want them to do it for my own personal selfish reasons, but not let any fans or any extra people in these stadiums.
Okay.
And yeah, I know like they're having fans, like they're social distancing and all that other stuff. I personally don't want them to do that because the Steelers play the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville this year. And that's right up the street. And I'm trying to go. But I think that also I also feel like shaking hands and all that stuff after the game and all that. That they can limit that.
Okay.
Um, they can limit some of that, but it's really hard because NFL is different than the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like the NBA don't have that many players, that many like coaches and
Yeah.
stuff. The NFL has basically there's at least like 100, 110 people on the field, like with both teams included.
Yeah, well, you got a
So,
53-man roster, so
hmm
you got 106. They're just players alone. You're not counting the head coach, the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, the
so
running
that's about
back.
125
Yeah, you
people
got a lot of people on
total.
the field. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So I don't, you know what I think they need to do, and this is just me. I think they need to stop them from. They need to put curfews on them in their own homes. They like, you know how the military did us. You can't go to
To the bars,
the
to the
bars,
restaurants, the
anything. You just
beaches.
home and work. That's it. And
hmm
supermarkets. You know what I'm saying? And get what you need. Other than that, you don't go nowhere. And I think that's what they need to do because I don't know where Cam went to get infected. Could it have been from another player from a game that he played? I mean, we don't know where it came from. The Chiefs as well popped,
hmm
had a few, and they just played the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So now,
So now the Ravens got to get tested.
exactly, which they all get tested every day up
hmm
until I think even Sunday morning they get tested before the game. There's a rule to it. They get tested like two or three times a day. Like it's crazy. I don't. Have you ever been tested for corona?
I have not.
I have. I came in close contact with somebody else positive, and I had to get tested. This thing goes up your nose. It didn't bother me none because I've had surgeries and stuff like that. Like, so to me, it was just like, okay, just get it done. But it does burn a little bit because they going deep in there, and then they turn it, and you know that's a sensitive part of your nose. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not no cokehead, so I don't like anything going in my nose. And I don't know anybody that would want to get that test done repeatedly. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to at the end of the day. Some people, it doesn't bother them. It didn't bother me, but that's not. I prefer not to get it done if I don't have to.
So
So
do they test them like every day, or do they check their temperatures
no,
like
they
every day?
test them.
They
They're
test
testing
them.
them. Yes. And
Okay.
some people are doing different tests too because you have I heard they're doing some swabs in the mouth as well. So I don't know
hmm
how but they're doing it every day. So the policy is they get tested every day, and then if you pop positive, so now the thing is, I say pop positive like so Navy. Um, if you test positive, right?
Yep, I say
um,
that too. I say that too. It's okay.
it's so institutionalized, not even funny.
I know
Um,
what you're talking about.
they say that at the end of the day, what's going to happen is if they can still play. So in other words, even if Cam would have just tested positive and nobody else did, they would have still played the game because they're not going to stop the show for one player. So now, what the reason, like for the Titans versus Steelers, a lot of the Titans people started testing positive. So between
And another one tested positive today.
you see, they had to stop it. But if they can still have a 53-man roster where they can still play without having those few people on the field, they'll play it. But if they can't, they won't. So they're not going to stop the show. But to me, what you going to say?
I was gonna say that, or like you don't need everyone on the field. Like, yeah, people have to be on the field because anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to run in and stuff. But the people like your fourth string or your third string, like they don't have to be on the field. For granted, yeah, have them there, maybe
Okay.
in the locker room, maybe somewhere like
Or in the stands,
else.
them first row
Yeah,
of them
and on
stands
the
right there.
stands,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. That's a good
where
point.
they're all like they're separated from each other.
They're like
But like,
baseball.
yeah, at least have like your second string in case somebody like gets
Yeah.
injured or hurt and stuff. But have your third and your fourth on standby, but they don't have to be on the field because when you're on your field, you're so close to one another. You're not social distancing on the field whatsoever.
No, you're
You
not.
know.
You're not. You're taking the fact that we tested negative that morning or the night before that we can be around each other. But
Oh, we're good.
yes. But as we see that you can test negative today, go get tested tomorrow, and now you're positive and not even show any symptoms. So, I feel so. The other thing, so I was going to say the impact to this, right? So when I picked the Patriots, it wasn't because I picked the Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan. I actually had the Patriots losing. But between the Ravens running 62 yards on the first drive against the Chiefs struggling to the Chargers the week before, and them giving up a lot of rushing yards, it goes back to last season. They couldn't stop the run. So with Cam Newton, what Cam does for the Patriots that Brady couldn't do is the option of running the ball himself and extending the plays. Kind of what Ben did a lot in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
His big body, he can escape out the pocket, what Aaron Rodgers does, all that stuff. And if you remember when Ben was young, when he first came into the league, he can run the ball in. He can scramble out. He can extend the plays, which allowed your receivers to get open. Brady's not going to do that. You know, Brady's old. He's like Peyton. I see 3 big fat motherfuckers coming. Oh, I didn't mean to curse, but it is. I'm going to drop down to my knees, and that's it. I'm going to take the sack, right? Or I'm going to throw the ball away. With Cam, they can't do that. And I feel that with Cam, it keeps the defenses honest, meaning, okay, I can drop into coverage, but now I have to deal with the fact that you have Sony Michel, you have Rex Burkhead, you have James White out the backfield, you have that rookie Taylor, you bringing back Damian Harris. So you have 5 running backs.
Yeah, but Sony Michel's also injury prone to me because I pick him up for fantasy and I have to bench him because he's always questionable or out.
Yeah, the only person I pick up fantasy as far as running back for the Patriots would be James White because he gives you the, especially what league you're playing in though. If you're playing the PPR league, I'm picking him up.
Non-PPR.
Oh no, I play PPR.
I don't know why people play PPR. I think non-PPR is so much better. It's more
standard.
Challenging.
That's standard. I mean, but points per reception because it's you're right. I've played both. I like PPR better. But I've also played standard where you get a point for every touch. They adjust the point game. So if you got a running back that's getting 30, 40 touches, that's 40 points just off him getting the ball. That's like a receiver catching the ball 20 times, but he gets no yards.
Yeah, but I don't need like my opponent who has Christian McCaffrey getting like 80 freaking points.
Well, that's what happens. You know what I mean? That's what makes it fun. You got. But how many teams you got in your? I got 14 teams in my league.
I have a 12-man team, 12-man league, 8-man league, and then I have a 10-man league.
See, 10 and 8, at 8 you can make a monstrous team. When you go 14, you're picking third-string quarterback. You're picking third-string wide receivers, hoping that they get a break. You're really watching. Like right now, if I go to my waiver wire, there's not even a tight end for me to pick up. Okay, Kittle was hurt, and I was just swapping people in and out of the tight end because I didn't have anybody else to put in. So we see the impact of this. We see how COVID is actually affecting the first off the schedule because now the Titans and Steelers got to bye early, maybe when they didn't need it.
Now we got to play 13 weeks straight.
Exactly. And when you have older players, that creates a problem. You know, Ben's coming off injury.
Big Ben, yeah.
Yes.
He might be a little bit stronger than the last couple of seasons, but he's still
old, but I mean, even for Derrick Henry, think about it. He's a workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're telling me that I have to go 13 seasons straight with carrying the team on my back on a rushing.
Exactly. He's a one-man team.
Exactly. Pounding. There's no break. There's been more. I've seen a lot more injuries in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was about to say that can be Yep.
Hamstrings being pulled, the ACLs being torn. All
the
that
49ers
stuff.
whole entire team got
exactly.
injured.
You lose Bosa and your other man in just in one game. You lose Bosa, Thompson, I think was his name, or Thomas, and then you lose Garoppolo and Mostert and Kettle. So that's 5 of your starters on both sides of the ball that you lose. And people are saying that because there was no preseason is what happened. I don't know if it was because there was no preseason. I think it's because there was no OTAs. There was nothing. It was just, come in and practice and then you go out
I
there.
wouldn't say it wasn't because of no preseason, like whatsoever. Because preseasons, they don't even play their starters.
Not right away. No.
Not right away. So I'm not going to blame preseason whatsoever.
You could lose a wide receiver in preseason. We lost Julian Edelman in preseason. So I don't, you know what I'm saying?
But majority of the teams preseason, they don't play their starters because they don't want their starters to get hurt right away.
And it's also to see who's going to make the team on the second string side of the house. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to play for the team. So, I mean, I think, so like I said, I think me and you both agree they need to probably put curfews on them, reduce where they go, keep only the players you need on the field, maybe put the other ones in the stands. I know the NFL stopped sharing Gatorade bottles. They don't share it. Like back in the day, everybody get a squirt from the same bottle. Now everybody has their own bottle, and just it's kind of crazy and it sucks. It does suck because, like I said, for me, I was looking forward to that 425 game. I was hoping at seeing Cam come up 2 yards short from being the Seahawks. I'm like, man, and Russell's doing his thing. You can't front Russell.
Yes.
Russell's out there killing
Well,
it.
he just had another baby. What happened the last time they had a baby? He was doing his thing.
My wife says that Sierra's probably giving him some goodies or not taking it away. If you don't play right, you don't get it.
But another thing, like I would say, curfews and stuff. It's just so much harder for them to try to be safe versus the NBA. They're in a bubble. They're not with their families and stuff. Yeah, they can have a curfew. They go home, but they go home around their wife and their kids who went
Yeah.
to school and work all day, who was around other
Mm-hmm.
people. So you don't know if they caught it from family members, who caught it from someone they were at
Yeah.
work or at school with, and then they have to go to practice and now they're giving it to somebody.
But you in
Unless the NFL wants to have them stay in hotels for 18 weeks straight.
yeah. Yeah. With like weekly visits, like conjugal visits and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the so you know what's crazy, and this is one thing. So you in Florida, my boy's mom works in at Orlando in Universal Studios. So she's part of the crew that brought the food in. She said that so what they would do is they clean the cafeteria. They come in like fully gloved up, masked up. They drop the food off. Then they leave, and another team comes in and still sanitize the area. The players come in, eat, they leave, and somebody else comes in, cleans up, and all that other good stuff.
Smart.
It is smart. It is. It is. But you're in the military. You've done 2 deployments. How do you feel when? And this is a little bit off script, but I want to get your point on it. How do you feel when you heard, if you heard, that the NBA players were complaining because they were stuck in a bubble? They couldn't go out. You know, they couldn't see their families. They couldn't do nothing. They were just stuck at the hotel, workout, hotel, play basketball, hotel. You know, like that was it. You haven't done 2 deployments, okay? Multiple workups at the sea. Not being able to go off the ship, you know what I mean? Like
not being able to use my cell phone, which you can FaceTime your family every night from the bubble.
Exactly.
I can't.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I will always say, like, people don't know unless they try it. You're right. Like, some people are different. So yeah, they're complaining, but like, okay, well, walk in our shoes for once, you know?
Yeah.
But even now, like, we have to sign this page 13 to where we can't travel a certain distance and we still can't go to the beaches and to the movies and stuff and all that other stuff. So it is still work, go home and stuff. Like, so like still to this day, like Jacksonville's more than 50 miles from where I'm working. So I can't go home without a special request sheet, you know? And
yeah, trust me, my mom lives in Claremont, Florida. I can't go see her. I can't travel more than 200 miles. Even New York is outside the 200-mile limit. So since last year, I haven't seen anybody. You know what I'm saying? My sister came down here to a resort to visit, and she came over with my niece. But other than that, now she's moving to Florida with my parents. So if for me to go somewhere, I would have to run a waiver. You know, I got to go to sea now and ask the admiral, hey, can I take 5 days to go see my parents in Florida? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just crazy. So yeah, I felt the same way. And somebody that we both know, he was like, oh, well, you can't compare the two because what they do is play basketball and what we do is the military. That's what we signed up for. That's not what they signed up for. But
that's what they did sign up for.
My whole argument though is like they get paid millions.
They do.
If you was given the lowest E1 on the ship, $500,000 to go out to sea, he would go. They're
going out to sea every day.
Yeah, they would be there every day, happy. Okay, like
happy because the money's coming.
Exactly. I'll eat these hard pancakes.
That is what they signed up to do. They want to be an NBA. They don't have to be an NBA player. Like they weren't born in like, oh, you're forced to be an NBA player. Like they got to make the decision. You know. Yep. So that was I want to know who that person is. You can tell me offline.
Yeah, I'll tell you offline. You know him. You know. They're very close to me, and we was on the bush together. That should tell you everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He just got commissioned. How about that one?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
So before we wrap it up, I'm gonna throw out the games, and you tell me who you got. Jaguars at Bengals.
Bengals.
I went Bengals too. Okay, Browns at Cowboys.
See, I love Nick Chubb, and I'm rooting for Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield. I think the Cowboys got it, but I hope the Browns upset them.
I went Cowboys at home. Saints at Lions.
Ooh.
Both 1-2. Saints coming off a 2-week loss. Two losses back to back.
Saints.
Yeah, I went Saints. I don't think they'll lose 3 in a row. I think they could bounce back. Plus, you get Michael Thomas back. Did you know Drew Brees was 0 and whatever whenever Thomas is not in the lineup?
No.
Yes. It was brought up on ESPN this week. Crazy. Well, Seahawks at Dolphins. I'm going Seahawks. I mean,
Yeah, Seahawks. What?
I'm sorry. Chargers at Bucks.
Charger. That's gonna be a good. That's gonna be a good matchup because Chargers is pretty decent, even though they have a lot of injured players too. I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
I'm going Bucks just because they're at home and the Bucks defense is pretty
Yep.
top 10. Ravens at Washington. That's no. I think Ravens bounce back tremendously after losing to the Chiefs. That's you got Ravens too. I hope you got Ravens.
Yeah,
if you
I
say
do.
Washington, I'm hanging up on you.
They just lost to the Browns.
Yeah.
Their only win is against the Eagles.
Very true. Which I mean, hey, Cardinals at Panthers.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I went Cardinals too. Now, 2 winless teams, 0-3 both of them. Vikings at Texans.
I gotta go. See, that's gonna be hard for who I want to win because I have Deshaun Watson in one of my leagues, but I also have Dalvin Cook in another league. I love both of them. I love them. Like they're like my kids basically. That's hard. I can't pick.
I went Texans at home. I don't think Texans going 0-4. I'm sorry. I can't see it. Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback. He's better than what's old boy Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Texans have too much power. Like they have Cook, Stills, Fuller, Johnson, and they got David Johnson, right? Dave Johnson, and then they have another running back.
Yep.
And I just feel like it's poor coaching on that end. I really do feel like what's hurt the Texans in the most recent years is Bill O'Brien. I don't think he's really
They
made
almost
for
beat us.
Yeah, but I mean, they come up short. You know what I'm saying? I think he's.
Yep.
I just think it's the coaching. That's just my opinion of coaching. Giants at Rams.
That's given.
Yeah, you can't even think about that. Now, Colts at Bears. So the Colts are 2-1.
That's hard. That's so hard. That is so hard because Colts are 2-1 with the number 1 defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears are undefeated.
Yes.
And are starting Foles.
Okay.
And all right, so I want your opinion on this. Sorry, sidetrack. I have the Colts in one of my leagues. I have the Colts defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They gave me 26 points last week.
Yeah, I got them too. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
26 points last week. But my argument is, should I start the Colts defense playing the Bears, or what was that other team? Hold on, let me look at my fantasy lineup really fast.
I do that. I'm going Colts on the upset. I don't think the Bears. I'm gonna tell you why. Nick Foles is good, but I think he threw a pick last week. He did throw a pick, and I feel that.
But did you see that comeback?
Yeah, I saw the comeback. I mean, I saw the highlights, but I'm just I don't know. I think Colts can do it. I don't see the Bears as this really a 3-0 team if you want to call it that. You know, who they beat? They beat the Falcons, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean the Cowboys beat the Cowboys. They gave up a 29-point lead against the Cowboys.
They've been giving up lead
since the Super Bowl.
Leads, yes.
So who you got? What's the defense?
So it was the Colts defense playing Chicago.
Okay.
Or the Packers defense playing Atlanta. But that's the thing. Atlanta's offense puts up points, you know?
Yeah, no, I would stick with the Colts. You got a better chance of getting Nick Foles to mess up than you getting Matt Ryan to be coughing up a lot of balls like that. They have Julio Jones come back in the game. You got two wide receiver ones in the lineup. You got Calvin Ridley and you got Julio Jones. I mean, and Atlanta, it's not they can't put up points. They were the only team. They put up
points as their defense that is letting the other team catch up.
You got to think they were the first team in NFL history to have that many yards, that many points with no turnovers and still lose the game. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time before this shit turns around. Bills at Raiders, I picked Bills. I picked Raiders at home. You went Bills?
I want the Bills.
You think Bills are going to beat the Raiders in the house? Okay, hey. I'm just telling you. I think.
Just look. We'll just see. Okay, we'll just see.
Yeah, you just text me at 7:00 tomorrow. Eagles at 49ers. I went 49ers.
The 49ers. It's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like
they can't even get right if they paid. And then Monday night's game, Falcons at Packers. I went Packers. Actually, no, I do. No, I think I went Falcons. Wait a minute. I think I went Falcons.
The Packers are undefeated. The Falcons are 0-3.
Yeah, I don't know what I picked. I got to think.
I have Aaron Jones as a running back
You know what?
in one of my leagues.
Hold on. I think I went Falcons with the upset. Oh no, my upset of the week was the actual Patriots, but that's an upset all around because they're not even playing now.
That's the upset of the year,
Yeah,
basically. Besides the Giants.
yeah,
Now it would be embarrassing. It would be embarrassing if the Eagles let the Giants beat them this season.
yeah, yeah. The Giants haven't been playing good at all, but they also, I don't know, man. That they had a good little runs there in their first game, and I was like, oh look, they're doing okay. But I just feel like, again, you said coaching is everything, in the NFL. We can sit there and talk about players, and we can talk about this, we can talk about that, and a lot of times it comes down, in my opinion, to the coaching. What is it that's being coached? If you look at the 49ers in the Super Bowl last year, they could have won that game. They should have ran the ball. I got Packers too. Never mind. So they could have won the game if they would have ran the ball, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And now you went to the Super Bowl with the Patriots. You got a 28-3, 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, and you give it up because you start throwing the ball instead of running it. So I think it's all about coaching and situational awareness. But I got Packers winning. I got combined score of 77. So, I mean, that's what it is. And I hope that they can figure this out because I'm pretty sure the Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots are not the only teams that are going to test positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Ravens if they test them because
they just played the Chiefs on Monday. They just played
the Chiefs on Monday, exactly. So we'll see. It goes from there. So I guess the next time we will have this conversation will probably be Wednesday night before the Thursday game to talk about our picks and what we saw this weekend.
Yes.
Okay, I look forward to it. Well, this is Frank's Unsolicited Advice, Impromptu NFL edition, and with Bree. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.